Good morning. It's Lisa with Lisa Heal Yourself. And today I want to share with you some of the most important lessons that pain, symptoms, and suffering taught me. So if you're interested in this video, please give it a like. And if by the end of the video you've received value, then consider subscribing. Okay, so grab yourself a tea, get cozy, and let's get into this. So when I was at the height of my suffering, and if you're at the height of your suffering, I know this is going to be difficult to understand, let alone implement, because I couldn't understand this when I was suffering in the depths, when my symptoms were so unfathomable, when my pain was so excruciating. I couldn't see this. And I think for anyone who's sick with chronic illness or any kind of pain and suffering, this is one of the reasons it goes on so long, because we're literally trapped in a place where we're contracting, where we're closing in on ourselves. All there is fear and lack and limitation and suffering and hopelessness and helplessness and anger and frustration and sadness and grief and loneliness and disconnect and helplessness and guilt and shame and obsessiveness and franticness and overwhelm. These are all the emotions that set in on you when you're experiencing chronic symptoms, chronic sensations of pain and mental, emotional, and physical suffering. There is nothing else. There's literally, I know for me, no room for anything else. There was no room for joy. There was no room for love. There was no room for creativity. There was no room for learning, for growth, for expansion, for fun, for play, for rest, for comfort, for peace. All the things I longed for. There wasn't even this much space. There was no space. It was like I was closed in. The walls had completely closed in on me, all around me, locked inside my own body, in a prison of my own making. Though I didn't know it was my own making, I truly thought it was my body that turned against me, the unfair circumstances of the world that led me into this situation, and maybe it was. But from this place of limitation, lack, fear, anger, grief, all of those things, this is the darkness. This is the thick negative energy. This is the negative polarity. This is, in essence, the devil. This is hell. And when you're in hell, when you're surrounded by the devil, which is fear and anger and shame and guilt and jealousy and envy and distrust and disconnection and hopelessness, you are consumed by this negative energy, by the negative polarity, by the negative vibrations, by hell itself. And when you are in complete darkness, there is no room for light. We sometimes can't see the light or find the light, but we know that there is always light. We know this somewhere deep in the deepest part of our soul, of the part of us, the piece of us that has kept us alive until now, the part that is still connected to God. And what is God? God is the positive polarity, the positive vibrations. God is joy and love and peace and calm and fun and love and creativity and success and confidence and hope and joy and strength and courage. God is joy and love. God is pure light. And we absolutely know, even when we're in the darkest recesses of hell, that God exists. There is a part of our soul that is still connected to the divine. And we know that that's the truth. We know that light always trumps dark. We know that love always trumps fear. We know that hope always trumps hopelessness. And we know that because we continue to hold on. But in these moments, we lose sight and the ability to have any of that tangibly in our life, to call any of that in. And the wisdom that I learned over my decade journey began with cracks of light, began with cracks of love, began with those simple cracks of God coming in to the darkness, coming into the hell. And it wasn't somebody out there, a God out there, the love out there, the light out there coming in. It wasn't me waiting in the darkness, waiting for God or the lightness or the cracks of light to seep in, because I was encased. It wasn't coming to me. There wasn't anything out there that could come inside. The way we heal is we push outward to let the cracks of light in, like an egg hatching. The shell cracks from the pushing against the edges, from the pushing against the case, right, of darkness, of limitations, of lack, of hopelessness, of fear, and pushing against that, expanding out, growing. This is how the cracks begin, and this is how the light comes in. So if you're praying to a God or continuing to say positive affirmations over and over, or trying to wait for the goodness to come to you, I'm telling you, you must grow and push outward in order to receive the cracks of light and love that are waiting to flood in, that are always there, that are actually not outside you, but inside you all along. And this is what I want to share with you today, because healing begins when we grow, when we expand, in spite of what's happening. So when we have pain, let's take chronic pain, pain all over your body, whether it's widespread pain of fibromyalgia or in your joints, right? Joints, muscles, whether you have rheumatoid arthritis or whether you have nerve pain, whatever kind of pain you are suffering with, even whether it's mental pain and mental anguish, these pains are coming to you. I know you don't want them, but they're here. They happened. They are for you. And until we can see them as our way to grow, then we can't expand through them or grow through them. See, for most of my journey, all I wanted to do was push the pain away, push the suffering away, protect myself from the pain, run from the pain, fight the pain, get frustrated at the pain, fear the pain, try to fix and change the pain. I didn't realize at the time, and you can't see this, I know you can't. I know this video might make you want to throw your phone against the wall. But even though you can't see it now, your pain is a gift, not a physical or mental gift like, here you go, here's pain, you deserve this gift. No, it's like we see your vessel, we see your body, we see your soul, we see you stuck in life, emotionally, physically, mentally. We know there's more for you. But since you're not reaching for it, since you're not expanding and growing at the rate that your soul came here to grow and expand and unfold so you could be all that you could be, it's the reason you came here, to unfold and grow and expand. Since it's not happening, since you're comfortable where you are, We see you've stagnated in your growth, in your career, in your relationships, in your ability to love, in your ability to trust, in your ability to have courage and stand up and take chances and do and be. Then we have given you a challenge. This challenge is before you. This is your hurdle. This is the thing you want the least. And so therefore we give it to you so you can rise and grow and expand the most. This is not a test. This is not God challenging you. This is your very essence, your very soul, learning the exact lessons that it came here to learn. So I'm not saying that illness, sickness, suffering, or pain is a gift in and of itself. It's not a gift. The growth is the gift. And until we learn to love ourselves, not the pain. It's like, yes, we love the pain, but we don't love the pain. We don't love the symptoms. We don't love the illness. We love ourselves and we believe in ourselves and we trust in ourselves. We have faith in ourselves in spite of all that. We're not running anymore. We're not fighting. We're not pushing it away. We're not trying to fix it. We're welcoming it all in so that we can learn the lessons, that we create our own courage. We create our own peace. We are our own light. We are our own love. Because remember, God is not out there. The light is not out there. The light of God lives inside us. The light can only be turned on when we turn on our light, our internal light, our internal love, our internal peace, our internal courage, our internal joy, our internal helpfulness, our internal hopefulness, our internal creativity, our internal growth and expansion. God wants this universe to grow and expand and evolve. And that's why he gave all of us free will. That is why there is darkness on the other side of light. That is why there is down on the other side of up. That is why there is in on the other side of out. That is why there is pleasure on the other side of pain. That is why there is hope on the other side of hopelessness. Why there is love on the other side of fear. Why there is forgiveness on the other side of anger. These are the messages Jesus taught us. These are the messages that he embodied. He embodied the light, forgiveness, the love, the hope, the joy, the peace. The eternal kingdom of heaven is within. It's within all of us when we turn on our light and connect to the source of all that is. Connect directly to God. And by turning on the light, by turning toward love, by turning towards courage, by turning towards faith, by turning towards joy and creativity and success and abundance, by turning towards that, we're turning towards God, we're turning towards the light, and we are turning towards heaven. When we stay in the darkness and we're consumed by fear and anger and guilt and shame and grief and hopelessness and helplessness and envy and jealousy and guilt and rage, we are turning toward the darkness, towards isolation, towards the darkness, towards the devil, towards hell. This is why they say you can have heaven right here on earth. You can have hell right here on earth. We are creating our own heaven and our own hell. We are creating our own light and our own darkness. Do we close in and sink down and fold in on ourselves like a flower in the darkness at night? Or do we open our petals, grow, expand, and turn toward the light like the flower in the day? This is what manifestation is. I get comments on my channel all the time like, oh, manifestation is the root of new age nonsense or the devil, or no, it's not. Absolutely, it's not. Manifestation is going towards what we want, going towards the light, going towards the love. As long as we are creating from love, from lightness, we can manifest all goodness. It's when we create or try to manifest from darkness, from shame, from guilt, from fear, from anger, from hate. This is when we are creating, from, in essence, hell, from the devil, from out of a place of lack and limitation. But as long as we're creating goodness and love and light, and from the place of expansion and growth towards the positive energy, the positive vibrations, the love, the light, the God energy that resides within us all, then that is the highest form of energy and expansion and growth and love that we can bring to the earth. That is the highest form that our soul can bring to planet earth. That is where we're trying to get to. That is what we came here to do, to grow in light, in love, to expand, to evolve. That is why our soul is here. And here we are, faced with the lesson. The lesson maybe has come in the form of chronic illness or chronic pain or suffering or mental pain or whatever kind of chronic mental, physical, or emotional pain and suffering or symptoms that you're suffering with. Here's our lesson. Are we going to fold in on ourselves? Are we going to sink into despair and hopelessness and anger and fear? Or are we going to expand in spite of our fear with courage, with faith, with belief, with hope, with joy, with love, with forgiveness, with expansion, with growth, with peace? So tangibly, then what we need to do is meet all of these communications that your mind and body, right? Emotions are just energy. They're just stuck energy. We're meeting the stuckness so that we can grow. We're meeting the pain so that we can transform or transmute it, right? We're growing through, we're expanding through, we're transforming, we're transmuting. And the only way that we can do that is not by closing off, not by shutting down, not by sinking into the low vibrations that are so easy to sink into in victim consciousness, but to expand in spite of, to learn to bring peace to the moment, love to the moment, hope to the moment, faith to the moment, peace to the moment, to each and every symptom and sensation, to each and every moment, to ourselves. This is why self-love is so important on a healing journey. Self-love is everything, because when we have love for ourselves, we can find a love for the part of our body that's hurting, the part of our thoughts that are hurting, our emotions that are hurting, that are in pain, that are in suffering, and we can meet them with open arms right where they are. We don't have to try to fix them or make them go away or run from them or fight them. We can meet our body, our mind, our heart right where it's at. We can feel, in essence, all of these big emotions. We can feel all of these big sensations. We can feel all the swirling of the mental thoughts and energy. And we can meet it with peace. We can meet it with joy. We can meet it with love. We can meet it with courage. We can meet it with faith and belief. And when we're able to meet that, our container, our vessel expands. We have more capacity. We're more resourced. We can hold more. We find we can hold more of this pain or this suffering or this emotion without having to close off. We're learning to hold more. We're learning to widen our vessel, to open our container, to be bigger, to expand, to grow, to be able to hold more. And when we can hold more and more and more, because we're more and more open to it. Our container is so wide, it can hold the emotions of shame or guilt or grief. It can hold the thoughts that are swirling in our mind, and we can see that they're not true. It can hold the sensations in our body that will ebb and flow. It can hold the pain. It can hold the suffering. It can hold the fear in this container of love, in this container and reservoir of never-ending peace, which is God, right? Which is source, which is expansion, which is the heavens. It's the all that is energy of love. When we open up to this vessel, this container, this energy, this vibration, there is no match for the darkness. Light always wins. Hope always wins. Love always wins. God always wins. Because God is the source of all that is, that includes the darkness. Right? The source, the totality of everything. And when we open and learn to grow and evolve our container, our vessels, ourselves, our souls, we begin to open, we begin to grow. I mean, I know this sounds all so like metaphysical and easier to say than do, but that's why it's difficult. That's why healing can be difficult, because we keep coming up against resistances, resistance points, our own resistance, our own blocks to be able to grow and expand past the point of our comfort. We need to be able to expand and grow into discomfort, into the areas that are dark, so that they may have light shone on them, into the areas of fear, so that they may experience love, into the areas of hopelessness, so that they may find hope, into the areas of chaos, so that they may find peace. I mean, this is every lesson from the Bible. This is every lesson from every spiritual teacher. This is every lesson from every hero's journey, from everyone who hit rock bottom and who overcame and is now at success. Looking back, they had to grow. They had to expand. They had to pick themselves up. They had to push through their resistance points of discomfort, of extreme discomfort, and grow beyond. And it was dark when they were trying to grow beyond, because they had to push through. They had to make the cracks, just like that little egg. The cracks don't come in. You push them. When you push out, when you expand outward, you are finally able to see, you're able to access, and you're able to pull them in. This is how we heal. And this is the most important lesson that I learned on my healing journey. And unfortunately, we don't learn this lesson. We don't metabolize this lesson. We don't integrate this lesson. Usually until we have enough hindsight, until we have enough space, until our vessel is big enough and wide enough, until we're far enough into the light that we can see, right? The butterfly in the cocoon doesn't know that by pushing out, it is going to turn into a butterfly. In fact, it melts down, completely melts down before it transforms and gets its wings. So often we can't see this message, but as someone who was there, it's important that others ahead of you give you this lesson. You still have to experience this lesson for yourself, because learning this lesson or hearing about this lesson isn't the same thing as experiencing your own growth, experiencing your own expansion, experiencing pushing through your own resistance points, experiencing, allowing, growing, letting go, expanding, bringing light to darkness, bringing love to fear. That's something that you tangibly must integrate in order to come back into wholeness, because healing is wholeness. Just like God, God is the all that is. He has created everything that is, the ups, the downs, the heavens, the hells, the goods, the bads, the loves, the fears. We have to be able to hold all of that within us and still be in the light, still be in the love, still be growing and expanding. It's about integration. It's about transformation. It's about the bringing back together and the remembering that you are whole, that you are big enough to learn this lesson, that you are whole enough. You have enough of the qualities to make it through this pain and this suffering. You're building your resources. You're building all the qualities that you need in order to be whole again, in order to go through this and come back together in wholeness, as opposed to going through this and shattering and falling apart. It's the bringing back together, the integrating back in the light and the dark aspects, the hope and the fear aspects, and knowing that you are big enough to hold it all, that you can expand and grow through all of it with light, with love, with God, because you are directly connected to God. You are directly a piece of God, and you have all of the divine power and qualities and resources within you, but you are not using them in your life at this point, and your soul knows that. That's why it is giving you the gift to expand and grow, become more, not less. And I know this was a long video, and I really hope that you received value from it. If you did, please consider subscribing. And if you want to learn how to work with me or take my program, you can check the description in the links below. And I want to thank you for spending your valuable time with me today. I'm sending you all my love. I know you can do this. Sending you love, and I will see you in the next video.